Hello. Today we're going to be looking at function blocks in Siemens TIA portal. These principles will still apply in the Step 7 Classic, but we'll be working the TIA platform. Our application is going to be to monitor a flashing heartbeat signal from a device. It could be a robot or PLC. It's a commonly used function in the interface. Just to be sure that we're getting updated tag information and we're communicating okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's add a new block. That'll be a function block, and we'll name that block heartbeat detection. Select OK. And since we're going to plan to reuse this block multiple times, we've got to be sure all our logical tags are stored in the interface, and those will eventually be stored in the instance of the call, be stored in a data block. So let's go ahead and start assigning our parameters. So our first signal will be our actual heartbeat, type bool. And then we want to know how long of an error time will be allowed. So that'll be sort of user defined depending on your application and the device's programming. And we'll have two outputs. We'll say heartbeat is okay. And we'll say heartbeat is in okay. Okay. So basically we want to say, we want to time how long the heartbeat signal is on and off. We want to see if either time expires, we'll assume we have an error. So we need to come up here and grab a timer, TON, generate on delay. And here we want to select multi-instance. This will store this DB for the timer inside the interface. So we'll call this timer just on time. You can see that we put in a static memory for the FB. Let's grab another timer, multi-instance. We'll call that off time. Okay, we have our two timers, so we need to input our desired time. So we'll grab our input, which is the same time for both. Okay. So we want to see if either timer expires. So we'll assume we have an error. So we can come up to our timers and grab our Q output for on, Q output for off. And either of those are on, we'll say we are in okay. And we can just say if we're not in okay, that we are okay. So a pretty straightforward function. As you can see, everything is stored in the interface of the block. It's very important if you plan on reusing. You can use a FB and have global memory inside. And the big advantage is you gain the static memory. But we want to reuse this. So it's important we keep everything up in the interface as far as our tags go. Okay, so we can close that. We can go to our main OB. We want to call this heartbeat detection, so we'll just click and drag over. So this is the DB, the instance DB, where those tags will be stored for this call. So we'll just call that heartbeat detection 1. Okay. So we'll just use some temporary variables here just so we have heartbeat 1. Okay, so we have some tags to assign the outputs. Not necessary, but why not? Say okay, not okay. We'll hard code our time here. We'll just say 1 second. Now our flasher will simulate. We can program some code up here to create a flasher, or we can just go to our PLC, right click, properties, system and clock memory. We'll enable our memory bits here for our clock. So you can start these at whatever byte address you would like. We'll just leave these at default 0. And for each frequency, here's your addresses for those. It's pretty handy. And we'll just say, we'll just use the 2 hertz. Okay, let's go ahead and download this to our simulator, see how it works. Okay, let's go online and we'll monitor. Okay, so we see our flasher flashing and we are okay. So straightforward functionality. So the big advantage from FB is we can call it again and give it a new instance. So we'll name this, we named the first one 1, we'll name this one 2. So okay. You can see it created another DB here. And we'll create a couple new tags here as well. So we'll just say heartbeat 2, okay. Heartbeat 2, and okay. Okay, and we'll use the same time. And let's just give it a random tag we can toggle on and off here. Okay, so let's go ahead and download. Oh, let's go program blocks download. And monitor. And we are in okay on the second one here. So if we wanted to monitor this FB and see what was going on with number 2, we could open up this FB, but since we're calling it twice, we got to be sure we monitor it for the proper call environment. So if we go to monitor, right now you're not sure if you're monitoring the first or second call. So under call environment, you can say heartbeat detection 2. We're calling it network 2. We can say okay. So now we can see that our heartbeat is off and our off time output Q is on. It's causing our error. So if we wanted to see, okay, let's see how 1's functioning. We'll go back to call environment, select network 1, where we're calling that out. Select OK. So you can see now we're monitoring that instance, and we see we're flashing properly and everything's working as it should. So just to recap the really important things with the FB, if you plan on reusing this code, is to be sure inside the FB all the tags you use in your logic are stored in the interface of the block. Very critical. Thank you for watching.